No use of the mind God gave you.
All right. We're going on. Everybody, put the potty mouth away. All right, a little Hollywood news here. Sydney Sweeney says she has bigger boobs and a bigger butt for her next movie. She's enlarged both of those things. So be sure to see her next movie. Because I know Jesse Peyton will be seeing it. Jesse Peyton is in studio. Greetings to you, my friend.
What's up? I can't wait to see Sunny Sweeney playing Fiona in Shrek.
She's playing. Did you actually see what she's playing?
No, I didn't.
They have Sydney Sweeney playing an unattractive woman in a film.
Oh, that's crazy. The last unattractive woman I saw in a film was that Rachel girl in Snow White.
Oh God, that didn't go well for Disney, did it?
Did not.
Also in the room right now, journalist Ethan Buchanan here. Ethan, good to see you. Ethan is in the building, and Ethan, you're like a healthy, normal, religious person who was homeschooled. And comedian Jesse Payne, you went to prison for a while.
Yeah, but I did go to college there. I got a vocational trade in botany.
That's great.
Yeah, so I'm moving on up, baby.
Are there any similarities between homeschooling and prison, you think? What?
Oh, God. I've never been to prison, so I can't say for sure, but I hope not.
Ethan, you dated Jesse, you dated a homeschool girl. It's kind of the same thing,
Yeah, I
isn't it?
met her at my family reunion.
She was we did the Michael.
Yeah, back then when we had sex with our teachers, no one talked about it because we were homeschooled.
No, I get it. That checks out with me. Absolutely. Hi, everybody. Kenny Webster here, and we're live streaming while we're on the internet. We're on the radio. You get how this works. We've done this before. Normally I'm not drunk, but they gave us champagne earlier to celebrate. I had a sip of champagne, and it just made me drowsy. I don't normally drink in the middle of the day, but we were celebrating Ethan Buchanan just got married. And
Hey.
you're 21 years old, and Jesse, you've been married before. How did that end?
Catastrophically, like a Delta flight, upside down.
Upside down.
Do you have any advice for Ethan now that he's married?
Hide your cell phone password. That was terrible. That was the downfall of my marriage. Is intrusive thoughts that became text messages that became in her line of sight.
Well, okay, all right. So that is Ethan. Has that been an issue so far? Has she looked at your phone?
She has, but it hasn't been like, oh no.
There wasn't anything to discover
No, there wasn't.
No.
Yeah, that's what I said. There wasn't anything to discover.
Does that shock you, Jesse, looking at Ethan here?
No, absolutely not. My phone was like the Discovery Channel. Yeah, we'll stop. All right, this is conservative talk radio.
No, we could get away. We could get away with some stuff here. It's not. This is conservative-ish.
Ish. I like the ish.
Yeah,
I
ish.
live in the ish.
Yeah, me too. All right, so that being said, there is a lot happening right now. Riots happening around the country, mostly in Los Angeles here. I've got a video on the screen of these people in Los Angeles. They look like they really care about illegal immigrants. You could tell these guys as they're running, and they're just destroying that Apple store, Jesse and Ethan. And these it says no ICE. These African-American youth really seem to care about helping immigrants from foreign countries. Is that the impression you get from this?
The impression I get is that they hate ICE and they hate Windows. I don't understand why, but you know what? Clearly they love Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, the new Nintendo Switch 2 is what they need to help fight and liberate for the poor disenfranchised migrants.
That'll stop fascism if I get a Nintendo Switch free of charge from Target.
It's
That'll
true.
teach them.
Jose and Juan and who else? And Iqbar and whatever the other illegal immigrants' names are. They will never be liberated if I don't have the latest copy of Mario Kart.
You don't understand. They're just hungry. They just need to feed their family iPhones. That's all it is.
Dude, look at how fancy this Apple store is in downtown LA, too.
Hey,
Like,
I don't understand what AOC was talking about because I don't see any of them with a loaf of bread.
you know what else is funny? You rewind the tape a little. We're for those listening on the radio wondering what we're looking at footage of people rioting. If you're listening on the radio, you can't see. And look at these white kids. The white kids are look, we understand these poor black youth from the inner city. They've, it's a cultural thing. We're not here to judge. But why are these frat boys there? What are they?
I don't understand because it doesn't look like they belong because this looks like a very literal Ebonic AI clip from Black Friday. Sorry, that was too far. I apologize. Kenny, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Apology accepted. This is KPRC Radio. Much worse has been said
We
here.
love it.
Yeah, absolutely. I, for one, feel like, and I'm sure we all agree that, that helping out the illegal immigrants, that's paramount at this point.
A million percent.
But I'm just not sure how stealing things from Apple stores is going to help with that. That being said, we do now have new activists. I have one of them on the screen right now. Jesse, I'm going to mute so that you can hear this. I'm going to have to mute everyone's microphone in the studio. We have on the screen here a large plus-size white woman. And she's going to tell us what she thinks of Trump's immigration policy. Roll the tape, please.
Is illegal on stolen land. No human is illegal on stolen land. If you think what's happening with ICE, because I don't think I can say it on this app without it getting flagged. If you think what's happening with them and what's happening to these families, to these people, is okay, and you are a part of that group, and you can sleep at night, you were an awful human.
Why do you think she's crying, Jesse? What do you think? There's tears in her eye. Hey.
She's definitely hungry, Kenny. I'll bet everything right now. She's starving. That's what I mean. How can you call her an activist when nothing in her life is active? She looks like a pacifist. She looks like the white statue in Times Square in Central Park right now. You look like Whoopi Bronsberg as a white chick. Shut this woman here. And you know what? I don't want to talk about how ICE is ruining Mexicans' lives, because if you've ever lived in a trailer park, ICE ruined my brother's life. Every day he did crystal meth. Okay, so
is that what happened? Is that
what it's called? It's called ICE. I was going for a pun.
Oh, drugs are.
I love when I end a joke and get a question. Thank you. You know,
I took that. I get it. Meth was called
ICE.
I took that to mean ICE came and arrested his drug dealer.
No,
but that's not at all.
No, ICE arrests the customers. Drug dealers are white. We're the capitalists, Kenny.
Is that fair? No, great point. Fair.
Yes.
Ethan, is that do we sound old calling meth ICE? You're a Zoomer. We're both millennials. What is or you're a young Gen Xer, aren't you, Jesse? We have technically three generations here.
You're asking a responsible 21-year-old journalist who just got married about the terms for illegal, grade 1 substances. Kenny, this guy doesn't know, okay?
Yeah, I have no clue. I have no clue.
He's here learning about it right now.
I just found out that ibuprofen was okay to take and you won't go to hell. This is all news to me. I'm out of my league here.
Your wife doesn't. You don't drink. You drink, right?
No, I do drink. I do drink.
Because
remember, Jesus turned water into wine, so that's okay.
That's it. That's perfect. I would love to see him at the AA meeting talking about it was a 3-day bender on acetaminophen.
I've hit my lowest point. I took a Tylenol. I'm sorry.
Last Christmas, I go around to all my producers and I was handing out bags of edibles as a gift. And he was the only one that didn't want any. He's like, you don't need to give me these gummy bears. I'm never going to use them. He got a bottle of wine. The bottle of wines were for the secretaries. And the edibles were for the producers, but Ethan didn't want one, did you?
I didn't check for Red 40 because all those gummies have Red 40, and that'll kill you, man. That Red 40. And Kenny, there's gluten in this stuff, dude. You gotta stop with the gluten.
You can tell he likes RFK Jr., Jesse.
I love it. That's amazing.
All right, so we have another video here. There's this black woman, and she is, again, I'm going to mute everyone's mics while I play this audio. We now go to a video of a black woman in downtown Manhattan. The protests have left Los Angeles. They have found their way to other places in the country where these white liberals are blocking traffic, and this black single mom's trying to get her kids to school so she can get to work. And the white guy explains to her, you don't need to go to work. Here's a tape.
But I have a kid. If I know, and these people are having their children taken and their parents. What about my kids? I need to get a job today. Then what happens to my kids? I can't help you. But you can if you could just move out the way. You're not going to. How is this a peaceful protest if there's nothing to do? No, it's not.
How do y'all as white people feel about stopping a black woman from going to work?
Oh no, not work. I can't.
Wait a second. He says, look at the look on her face right here. Look at the look on her face, Jesse. He says, oh no, not work. The black lady has to pay her rent. She can't explain to her landlord, I'm sorry, they're deporting brown people and white people are mad about it. I have a job to get to.
I know what that face is, Kenny, and I hate that the listeners can't see the guy she was speaking with. Because if you've seen the Netflix hatchet killer Kai, that's who she's talking to. Have you seen that?
I know exactly what it is. Smash.
That's who this guy and I think that's what she's in fear for her life for this guy. But the incredulity that he's like, you have work? Oh no.
He almost mocks her for it. It's like, ew, work?
You're going to work?
You're going to work?
Yeah, but I mean, she has to feed her children. This is like 4 or 5 years ago. These are the same activists that were at Black Lives Matter rallies, right? It's the same exact guys. This is exactly what it is. And if you had asked them the same question 5 years ago, hey, would you get out of the way for this black lady? I mean, that would have been like the cardinal sin. But now it's immigration. Now they're protesting for the browns, not the blacks. It's a different team now, Jesse.
It's scary, man, and I don't understand it. I always say, like, I'm on her side there. It's awful.
Jesse, you know what? You are a funny guy. If I wanted to watch you and right-wing extremist Chad Prather and I don't know some other handsome local morning talk radio show host do stand-up, where would I go see something like that at? Where would that even...
This Friday, we'll be in Tomball, Texas at District 249, June 13th. This Friday, all VIP sold out. All the tables are sold out. I think they opened up some extra tickets, so there is availability for that. But it's an uncensored, unwoke, unapologetic. And I tell people this, you don't know what to get your father for Father's Day. Tickets to this show is what he wants. Because your father probably voted for Donald Trump. And if your father voted for Kamala Harris, you don't have a father. You have two moms.
Thank you, Jesse Peyton. That was perfectly explained, my man.
Love America. Fear the government. Listen live. Listen now to Pursuit of Happiness Radio with Ken Webster Jr., producer Kenny.
Hey, if you are watching us right now on social media, I'm Kenny Webster. I'm here with Jesse Peyton. I'm here with Ethan Buchanan. And Jesse, you have a show coming up in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. Is that correct? Hang on.
Favorite states in this entire country.
One of your favorite states.
One of my favorite
As
states.
opposed to what?
As opposed to California.
Yeah, F Georgia. We can't stand California.
But in Fort Walton Beach, Destin area, we're going to be at the Block. Me and Chad Prather doing the Right Side of Comedy Gulf of America tour. And this is as Gulf of America as you can get. It's going to be Saturday, June 14th at the Block. Me and Chad Prather, uncensored, unwoke, unapologetic comedy. Come out. There's still tickets available. It's going to be a great time.
I love that. All right. And Ethan, while we're on the topic here, you have a podcast. You want to tell people about that?
Yeah, The Next Gen Report. It's wherever you get your podcasts. It airs Sundays at 7 right here on KPRC. It's just, it's everything you need to know and nothing you don't. And we also are not taking ourselves too seriously over there because the last thing you need is more of the CNNs and the Fox Newses and everybody who thinks they're it. I'm just there to give you the stuff that I think is interesting, the stuff that I noticed. And, that's what we talk about. We do a weekend radio broadcast, and then we do a Wednesday podcast just to kind of catch up in the middle of the week. So,
and what do you charge for that?
It's free. it's free because I believe that capitalism is what's wrong with this country. And so I'm going to give it to you for free.
What about you, Jesse? What are you don't have a podcast anymore? You quit doing that?
No, I don't do anything free. I'm the opposite. You know what I love is for-profit business.
Yeah, I don't get that either.
I don't like. Yeah, I was a ward of the state picking cotton in the cotton fields for free for the Texas Department of Criminal Justice that I charge every time now.
Can you tell that story? Hang on, we're going to go back on real quick. Jesse's going to tell a story about the hard arm of the law. Y'all are going to learn a lesson. Stay. All right, we're back. Hi, everybody. Russia, the nation of Russia, the Russian Federation is offering Elon Musk political asylum. It sounds like a good idea. It will replace political with insane, I'm assuming. Has Elon Musk lost his mind? Is he okay? Have we checked in on him recently?
He's just one of those guys. You got to catch him at the right time. He'll bounce back and forth between being a super genius and flying off the handle. He's like Kanye West with rockets.
Yeah, apparently he now seems to regret. He says on social media he regrets his tweets saying that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files and that Trump needs to be impeached. And look, we've all made mistakes before. Jesse, you've made mistakes, right?
Yeah, once. I got married.
You can't think of one other time you made a mistake.
I went to jail one time.
How long were you in jail for,
I went
Jesse?
one time in 1998 and got out. I went in November of 98 and got out in March of 2007. Anyways.
That seems like a long time to be in jail,
You know
Jesse.
what? It's longer when you're there, Kenny. I assure you.
I believe it. What did you learn from prison? You were in prison you committed a crime. You tried to steal a TV or something like that.
Yeah, I was in high school. I was a dumb kid. I learned that what happens in prison stays in prison. Yeah. Oh, sorry, that's Vegas.
I think that means something else, or does it?
For real. I learned that I learned I peaked in prison because my value as a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white boy, whilst in prison, my value will never be higher than anywhere on this planet, okay? Yeah.
I could only imagine. And Ethan, you were homeschooled. What'd you learn from being? That's the same thing, really, right?
Yeah, I mean, we have to do homework, and you're not allowed to leave the house. So, what kind of homework did they do in prison?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jesse.
I love being put on the spot. Everybody says the same things, too. They always want to know, like, the gruesome tales, and there's a lot. I don't know if I can really tell any of those on the air, but I've never, we didn't have any of those problems. I had a gay cellmate one time, and I had a dream that I was, I was with a girl, and then I woke up and I was with a guy, and it wasn't a dream. And my cellmate was a gay man from South Dallas, and he was he was doing what you would assume he would be doing from a female standpoint. And I woke up. Fortunately, we were in the dorm and nobody saw me, and I looked around and I was like, "Hey, you got exactly 20 minutes to cut that out." So,
and apparently no one knows the story now. It's still a secret.
It is. The funny part is there's no way I lasted 20 minutes. It's hilarious.
What did you take a pill or something? How would that even be possible? All right. Okay. So Jesse Peyton is here. He's a very funny comedian. Ethan Buchanan here. He's a very good journalist and reporter. And both of you had experiences on social media where you have misbehaved and you have been punished for it. You trolled, you've been suspended. I've been suspended on social media a lot. Weirdly, it just hasn't happened recently. But back in the day, I don't know, months at a time on Facebook, 3 months, 6 months. We had some long. I got punished on Facebook for saying things that were objectively true about COVID. But at the time when I said them, like a lot of these COVID-related deaths are just people who died with COVID. They didn't die from COVID. And that was egregious information back in 2020. And now that everybody knows that to be true. You've gotten in trouble on social media for other things, right, Jesse?
Yeah, I've had a lot of things. If people troll me, obviously I'm a conservative-leaning comedian, and I talk crap about liberals a lot, so they come on my page and they start cussing me out with a lot of misspelled words in these long comments. And one guy did that, and I found out a picture of him and his wife looked like Fiona from Shrek. So I posted that, and I was like, I can't believe he called me an incel and said that I can't get girls. And I was like, well, I'd rather never get girls than to have to sleep with your wife every single night like you do. And he took exception. He got mad, and then we had an argument. and I got banned. But the funny part is that they flagged my post for bullying because I posted a picture of him and his wife and talked about how ugly she was. And then I appealed. This is the funny part. I appealed the suspension, and Facebook reinstated the photo. So the funny part was, I said your wife's ugly, posted a photo, the algorithm pulled it down for bullying, and then a person reviewed it and they're like, then my person reviewed it and they reinstated the photo, restored it to my page. So it's funny that a human looked at it and was like, no, you're right. She is ugly. We're going to override the bullying because this is fact checked. And they put the photo back up. So I really feel like I won that.
You feel, yeah, absolutely. You beat Silicon Valley and that guy's ugly wife. Ethan, have you ever been suspended from social media? What did you do wrong?
I've never been suspended.
Ever from anything? School? Ever been in the backseat of a squad car?
No.
Ever been held by a larger man?
Suspension from school in homeschooling is just go to your room, which is where I was anyway.
Sure.
You mean where my Xbox is? Hell yeah, Mom.
God forbid I spend the day in bed. No,
That's amazing.
This is too horrible. But no, I've always managed to just walk that line just enough online. And I think it's probably just because I'm that age where at no point in my life did I grow up without the internet and social media. So I'm very versed in exactly which way to go. And so I've had instances where, you know, some guy with a transgender fiance got mad at me. He actually called the station and tried to get me fired.
Really?
Yeah.
What did you say about him? What did you do?
I
Ethan?
didn't say anything about him or his transgender fiance. All I said was, Elliot Page is a bad actress.
That's true.
That is
Elliot
true.
Page is a bad actress.
She's not a good actress.
Ellen, which is Ellen Page, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay.
Juno, yeah.
Because I said she is a bad actress, I didn't say anything about how Elliot Page looked or about Elliot Page being transgender. I just said she is a bad actress. And that's enough to get them as pissed off as you want so that you can get the ridiculous comments and make fun of them. But I didn't actually say anything that got me in trouble.
But for the record, have you ever seen a picture of Elliot Page where he looks happy? Let me put some up on the screen.
No.
Elliot Page always looks sad. Every time you see a photo of this person, here, I'm going to put it on the screen right now. Let's look at Elliot Page. This is just the first photo I happened to randomly grab online. Scrolling down, not smiling, right? Not smiling. Hang on, more pictures, not smiling. Right? This person is always perpetually sad. Is this person ever happy? Does transgenderism make anybody happy? Jesse Peyton, what happened after your transition? Go ahead.
It itched. It was very itchy. No, it looks like a Ellen DeGenderless. It was. I mean, that's very. It looks like I say it because I don't want to misgender it, but it looks like the school shooter and the victim of the school shooting in one photo. Like if they were just like you look like the pedophile and the kid.
Oh, no.
I don't get it. I don't know. It does kind of favor Elon a little bit right there, though.
Is that Elon? Could it be one of Elon's kids?
Right.
And then when you look at Elliot Page when she or him or whatever was Ellen Page, look, smiling. Look at that. Smiling.
Yeah.
Always smile. I'm noticing something here. Getting hopped up on hormones, artificial hormones, did not make this person's life any better.
No, it's like Samson when they took his hair.
Do you think Elliot Page even knows what the bro codes are? Do you think they know about the guy codes? You became a guy, but do you like bro code? We asked our listeners these online, they gave us answers. If you call your bros over to help you unload furniture, you are required to provide them with pizza and booze. Would you agree with that rule?
100%.
Yes.
Yeah. And do you still do that? Yeah. I feel like after a certain age, you're too old to ask your friends to help you move furniture, though.
Well, now that Trump deported all the help.
Now we have to.
I know. Hey, I knew it was out of control because I just did a show in Dallas in the hotel they put me in. We had a white housekeeper. I'm like, this is getting out of control.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, they're like, very clearly, they were like, housekeeping, it's checkout time. I'm like, did y'all send somebody up from the desk? And they're like,
I know we said all of them, but we didn't mean all of them.
I'm like, jeez.
I'm doing good, but I'm not doing white housekeeper good. That's amazing. Let's see. Just show up when called upon. It's like throwing up the bat signal. What does that even mean? I don't know. If you did not buy it, never take the last one. Okay, like beer and stuff like that. Pizza.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's a broken.
Yeah.
Riding shotgun is a responsibility. You're the co-pilot, not a passenger. I don't get that one because now we have GPS. What would you need that for?
Yeah.
And who's taking directions from someone? Calling your bros out with no mercy on their misogyny. Who wrote this? Real friends help you become a better person.
It's definitely a trans person wrote this. Like, you infiltrated and now you're trying to give advice.
And what nobody's mentioned so far that I think we have to point out are the urinal rules.
What are the urinal rules?
The strict code. You know, if you walk up and there's like a line of urinals and there's one person at one urinal and you use the urinal right next to them, that's weird.
That is weird.
You're
yeah.
not supposed to do
There's
that.
also the invisible line that you have to look above while you're next to somebody. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because when I grab your penis, I want it to be a surprise.
Thank you, Jesse. Well,
Sorry.
I never understood that rule though, because how else am I going to steal your wallet while I'm relieving myself? All right, before we get out of here, real quick, for those that don't know, tickets are still available. The VIP tickets are all sold. Jesse Payton's feature, Chad Prather's the headliner. I will be your special guest this Monday night. District 249, the right side of comedy, Gulf of America tour. Are you going to be transphobic at this event, Jesse?
1,000,000%. We're going to talk about everything. What we are going to talk about is how it's 3 straight, handsome white men on this show. Like how much, like this is what Trump envisioned right here.
America is back.
This was, if not Adolf Hitler, then certainly Donald Trump. This was his dream come true. Did you ever notice how Eva Braun was not attractive?
At all.
Isn't that,
that was it. It was the mustache.
I saw one earlier. It was the mistress for Warren Harding. And the Warren Harding's mistress, hang on, let me put this up on the screen. He got this woman pregnant. Famously, President Warren Harding used to have this woman in the Oval Office. He would have her in a janitor's closet, and then he would sneak in. This is what she looked like. This is his. We're looking at her on the screen here. So for those on the radio that can't see what we're looking at, describe this woman for us, Jesse.
If he had her in a janitor's closet, she looks like her face just came out of the mop bucket. Yeah, that's the Wicked Witch of she's horrible.
Is there some rule about presidential mistresses that they can never be attractive? I don't understand. Like Monica Lewinsky was not pretty. I mean, she wasn't bad, but
well, I mean, you can't get a dime. Dimes have options. A 6 knows how to be gracious and keep her mouth shut.
That's a good point. She's not going to write a book. Ethan, when you are eventually elected to public office, what kind of mistress do you imagine for yourself?
Oh, God. Do I have to answer this question? I might get in trouble.
No, you absolutely do not.
Newlywed.
I'm gonna
coward.
I'm gonna field this one.
Hey, check out Ethan Buchanan's radio show Sunday nights on KPRC Radio. Follow Jesse Payton on social media. You're on all the Instagram and
At
Facebook.
Jesse is funny on Instagram. Jesse Payton Comedy. I'm shadow banned on everything. Come look me up. I need it.
Hey, to the rest of you, we'll be back bright and early tomorrow morning for more of what you bought a radio for. I love you all. Be safe out there.
You are listening to the Pursuit of Happiness Radio. Tell the government to